ahead on DC News Now. Thanksgiving travel is on. From the airport to the roads, we're tracking what you need to know to make it to your holiday destination.
We're back to some drier conditions leading up to Thanksgiving, but we'll let you know when the next round of rainfall will be arriving.
Plus, an FBI agent is accused of sexually assaulting 2 women. The new details we're learning. Then, controversy continues for Hayfield Secondary School, why their principal is now pulling them out of the playoffs amid an investigation. And sipping safely, how a DC tech startup is helping keep you and your drinks out of harm's way.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us for DC News Now. Here at 4, I'm Annalisa Gale. Mark Hall has the evening off. We're just 2 days away now from Thanksgiving, and we're keeping an eye on the travel rush. Today is expected to be one of the busiest travel days, actually. And this is a live look at the Bay Bridge right now, where things are moving a little bit slowly, but at least they're moving. We begin with team coverage now, as many are rushing to the airports and taking to the roads there. Randy Bass is tracking the latest with your traffic conditions. But first, let's turn over to Liberty Simmons, who is live at Reagan National Airport right now. Good afternoon, Liberty.
Good afternoon, Annalisa. And holiday travel is expected to hit record levels this year. If you take a look at the board here, we're already seeing about 10 delays so far. Now, more than 80 million people are expected to hit the roads or hop on a flight for their Thanksgiving celebrations.
I'm arriving, actually. I'm meeting up with my parents, both coming in from Boston.
At the start of the Thanksgiving rush, so far, smooth sailing.
I don't know, there was nobody in the coffee lines, there was nobody in the TSA, it was a breeze, so I don't know what was going on, but yeah, it was very quiet.
TSA expects to screen more than 3 million people Wednesday through Sunday for the Thanksgiving holiday. TSA expects a 6% increase in passengers compared to last year.
This pie is more important than me, so I've got to get it.
With pie in hand, this passenger says he flew out early to beat the rough weather expected to move in.
So far, so good. We should be able to get flying out before any rain or any terrible travel. Honestly, it looks like Thanksgiving is going to be where most of the rain and possible wintry mix is going to happen on the day of.
And if you're hitting the roads, here are the best and worst times to travel today and tomorrow. The worst time to travel today is between 1 and 7 p.m. The best time to travel tomorrow is early, before 10 a.m. And the worst time to travel will be between 1 and 5 p.m. tomorrow. And TSA says it has enough screeners in the lines to keep the general security line under 30 minutes long and the pre-check security line under 10 minutes. For now, live here at Reagan National Airport, Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.
All right, Liberty, thanks so much. And checking in now with Randy Bass, who's in studio, checking on the roads here. Randy, what are you seeing at this hour?
Yes, Annalisa, we just heard Liberty say this. 1 and 7 p.m. today, those are your worst times to travel, and we are in the thick of it right now. Take a look. This is the I-270 spur heading both northbound and southbound here. You can really start to see some of those delays starting to pick up at this 4 o'clock hour. Some of you leaving work early today. A lot of that due to an incident here right around the spur between exits 4 and 6 through Montgomery County. Going to want to give yourself some extra time there. Checking in now on some other areas of the Beltway, Tyson's Corner, all the way up through that 270 spur, really going to be slowing down for you this evening. Taking a look now at the 295, DC 295, both mostly northbound, seeing some of those delays, people coming out of the city. But again, definitely going to want to give yourself some additional time to get where you are going through the evening hours tonight. Checking in on Virginia now, I-95 northbound for those of you traveling from anywhere, south partway through Stafford, Fredericksburg, all of those areas up through the north. You're going to see some delays through Dale City, up through the Occoquan. Back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Randy, for keeping track of that. Well, taking a live look now at the National Mall, looking beautiful out there on this day ahead of the Thanksgiving rush there. Heading out to meteorologist Damon Matson. And Damon, thankfully things dried out today after some rain this morning.
Oh yeah, Annalisa, a quick bit of rain there for us to start the day, but any of those travel delays you may be encountering here this evening into the night, it is not likely to be weather related. Things have improved for the most part after that rain moved out. and it moved out quickly because we did have a burst of breezy winds. Yes, it is still a bit blustery out there. That's the one thing we are dealing with here on this Tuesday late afternoon going into the evening. Wind speeds are still up around 10 to 20 miles an hour, but they have been starting to lighten up as we head toward the overnight hours, and very shortly we will not be seeing any more of these breezy winds because the front that caused all of it, well, it is moving well off of the east coast at this point. There is the last of that rain shower activity that moved through again much earlier in the day, and with a clear sky and high pressure sliding our direction, yeah, things will be calming down under a fairly clear sky as we head into the night. That will lead to a pretty decent drop in temperatures. It is going to turn quite chilly as we head into the day on Wednesday, but not too bad as we get into that day before Thanksgiving, a very busy one, no doubt. Now, as we progress along toward the holiday, are we still expecting a soaking rain to move in just before the holiday starts up? We'll have a full check of your forecast with that answer coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, developing now, President Joe Biden says that a ceasefire deal has been reached between Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah. Now, the ceasefire will begin Wednesday morning. It sets the stage for an end to nearly 14 months of fighting on the Gaza Strip. During a news conference today, Biden saying this is good news, and the United States will make another push in the coming days to achieve a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas.
This is designed to be a permanent cessation of hostilities. What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed, well, I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again.
And we'll have more on this developing story coming up in our next half hour. But for now, find more on our website, dcnewsnow.com. Well, an update now at 4. Officials have identified the man who died in a Brentwood house fire over the weekend. He was identified as 84-year-old Malone Hines. Prince George's County Fire and EMS says Hines died inside that home. The exact cause of the fire is still under investigation this afternoon, but officials have said the extreme hoarding conditions were visible at that home. Also new this afternoon, the D.C. Council is moving forward with an $800 million plan to buy Capital One Arena and revitalize the surrounding neighborhood. Owner of Monumental Sports and Entertainment, Ted Leonsis, posting on X saying the council voted to approve the measure in a preliminary hearing today. More than $500 million would come from the pockets of D.C. taxpayers, while more than $200 million would come from Monumental. MSC currently owns the arena, the Washington Capitals, and the Washington Wizards. In his post, Leonsis said, in part, we are grateful to the D.C. Council for their support of our plan to deliver a best-in-class destination for fans, athletes, employees, and our community at a brand new Capital One Arena. Well, right now at 4, questions continue to swirl around a Virginia high school football team which was investigated over whether officials improperly recruited players to play. Now the school's athletic director has announced his resignation. DC News Now's Ben Dennis joining us live in Fairfax County with more on this. And Ben, what's the reaction there right now?
Hey there, yeah, it's been months since Hayfield High School started to get peppered with questions about how they recruited players for their varsity football team. Well, their prospects in the playoffs are dashed. They were supposed to play their next playoff game here on home turf. But less than 24 hours ago, the principal pulled away from their chances for a championship, and the school's head of athletics is stepping down.
And it seems like we've lost the court of public opinion.
Hayfield High School football coach Daryl Overton calling a flag on the decision to pull his team out of the playoffs. The school superintendent announcing the principal pulled the plug after a recruitment scandal brewed for months, despite a judge allowing the team to play in the playoffs after the Virginia High School League recommended to ban the team from playing for 2 years due to illegal recruiting. School officials now calling it quits.
If there was something a rule that was broken, it's easy to take accountability, right?
They need to learn to lose and win properly.
Steve LaCoura isn't shy about the ordeal.
Some of these heads should fly, and the coach should automatically be gone.
His son plays JV football at Edison High School nearby. They just lost a playoff game against Hayfield.
Edison's future. Well, there's a void to fill because Hayfield's out, and somebody's got to step up and bring somebody in. So yeah, they should advance.
But that won't happen. The VHSL announcing Tuesday night it's Fairfax who will play in Hayfield's place, advancing to the region finals this Saturday. And tonight, Fairfax School spokesperson tells me that the school's head of athletics, Monty Fritz, just submitted his intent to resign today, but that's not going to be effective until December the 2nd. In Fairfax County, Ben Dennis, DC News Now.